Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Welcome to our channel. Today we've got a big COVID health protocol update from Princess Cruise Lines, and so I'm going to be talking to you about that as well as some other big updates from Princess and some other cruise lines as well. So welcome to our channel. We are happy to have our Let's Go family members here, and welcome to all of you who are new. We are really glad that you found us. So as I said, Princess has updated their COVID health protocols. The announcement that they've got today has to do with how we are able to disembark the ship and visit the ports that we visit while we're on our cruise. And so Princess starts off by saying the ability of fully vaccinated guests to go ashore in the ports of call is controlled by the governments of the ports that we visit. It says all ports allow vaccinated guests to go ashore in Princess excursions, and some of the ports will also allow the guests to book third-party tours or to explore on your own, but not all of them. It says, please be aware that in select ports, you may be required to take a shore excursion provided by Princess to go ashore. Now, it is also new that they remind all of us to be sure to always take with us our proof of vaccination and also that negative COVID test result that we got to embark on the ship. So no matter where you get off on the port, make sure that you take those with you. It says that for the time being that in Bridgetown, Barbados, Roseau, Dominica, Basse-Terre, St. Kitts, and Castries, St. Lucia, those are all ports that for sure you can only get off the ship if you are on a Princess excursion. And it said that the ports that will allow this are ports that don't make you be on a Princess excursion to disembark the ship. Those can change at any time. And so they do make the recommendation that you might want to consider booking your shore excursions only through Princess, because then if anything changes, you still are covered. And I thought about this, and I really don't think that this is a ploy by Princess to just sell all of their shore excursions and make more money that way. Of course they want to sell their shore excursions, but at the same time, I think it's a really safe way to do it, because honestly, things are changing so quickly that I don't want to go on a cruise, and I don't want you to go on a cruise thinking that you have a shore excursion lined up with a third-party tour operator or somebody else, and then you get there and that port has changed the restrictions and you can no longer do that, because then you only get to select from whatever excursions are left on Princess if you want to get off, or else you're stuck staying on the ship. And so I think that that is wise counsel. So we, like I have mentioned, we cruised a lot before the lockdown happened. And then with the restart, we've been on 2 cruises. And previous to COVID, we had booked a lot of excursions with private tour operators, and also with Princess. We've done a lot of excursions with them. But now, since the restart, we have booked all of our excursions with Princess, just kind of for that reason, because we want to make sure that all of the protocols are met for the tour and everything goes smoothly on our trip. And that's what we're going to do. We've got our upcoming cruise to the Caribbean in January, and we're going to do the same thing on that, just so that nothing changes last minute and we don't get to visit what we're hoping to visit on the cruise. And so that is what they say. Now, they also gave guidelines about people who are not vaccinated, and it says unvaccinated guests will only be allowed to go ashore as permitted by local governments through the excursions sold by Princess. It says self-exploration or participation in self-exploration or participation in shore excursions not sold through Princess will not be permitted. And so if you or any of the members of your party refuse to comply with the COVID-19 policies and procedures, you won't be allowed to board the ship once you go into port. And so it's really important to remember 2 things. First, that if you're unvaccinated, you have to go with a Princess tour, and all of us have to follow all of the COVID protocols and the restrictions while we are on shore, or else we're not going to be allowed to reboard the ship. And I know that this is because Princess is really serious about keeping their port agreements that they've got with these ports and keeping the health of their crew safe and the health of their passengers safe. Now, I don't know if any of you remember, but last summer MSC was even sailing last summer when so much of the world was locked down. And I remember that you had to be on one of their shore excursions to be able to get off the ship, and you had to stay in that shore excursion. Well, I remember, if I remember correctly, 2 families decided during the course of that season that they didn't need to stay. They just got off with the group and then they left. And when they came back to get on the ship, they were not allowed to get back on the ship again. And so Princess reminds that if you do that and you don't follow the rules, that you will not receive a refund and that they will not cover your travel expenses home, that you will be in charge of that. And I really think that most of us really do intend, and we do our best to follow all of the COVID health protocols and do things that we were supposed to. But that's just a reminder, I think, to all of us to not forget what we're supposed to be doing and to really take them seriously. And so really, I think Princess is just trying to give us the heads up so that we can enjoy our trip and make sure that we've got excursions booked the way that will work most smoothly. Now, as far as the Princess's Book with Confidence program goes, they started that just at the beginning of Restart of Cruising so that people would have confidence booking a cruise and then being able to cancel it if they needed to cancel it for whatever reason. And so for all of the cruises that you book through December 31st of 2021, but that they sail through April 30th of 2022, you can cancel your cruise up to 30 days before you sail and receive your money back in the form of a future cruise credit. Now, historically, you might recall that that window was much larger. Like I seem to recall on our cruises that we took that we had until 90 days before we sailed to get to cancel and not lose our money. And so now you can go ahead and cancel up to 30 days before you sail, and you'll be able to get your money back. Now, if you cancel within 30 days of sailing, you can cancel if you get COVID and things like that, but you can't just cancel because you decided you don't want to wear a mask on the ship. That's not a valid reason. And so if you have any cruises booked that sail before April 30th or on April 30th of 2022, make sure that you stay up to date with what all of the COVID health protocols are so that you can be ready to sail and know what to expect. And if you're someone that thinks, you know what, I don't want to have to wear a mask on the ship, take a look now and maybe cancel that cruise, and then you can rebook further down the road when the protocols change. Okay. Now, to do with, and I wanted to point out that, you know, when we first started the Restart of Cruising, Princess said that you can do that with all cruises booked through October 31st of 21. And then they moved it to November 30th of 21, and now it is December 31st of 2021 that you have to book the cruise by and then sail by April 30th of 2022 to be able to do that. And so I don't know if eventually they will end up moving it to January 31st of 2022. We'll just kind of have to wait and see and kind of see how everything goes with COVID, I think, is what they're kind of waiting on. Now, the last thing that I want to talk to you about is, you may have noticed, I did a video the other day about how Royal Caribbean and Carnival as well have already announced what their COVID health protocols are going to be through March 31st of 2022. Well, on the update today, Princess still lists all of their COVID health protocols are going to be in effect through February 28th of 2022. And so I think they are still kind of giving a little bit of time to see what's going to happen before they decide to extend to March 31st of 2022 as well. And so for now, they still have, I'm going to link a video to the last summary I did of the COVID health protocols for Princess because it kind of goes through everything. But as of right now, you still have to be vaccinated. That means that at least 14 days has passed since you got the last dose of your COVID vaccine. You still have to show the proof of vaccination. You still have to do a negative, have proof of a negative COVID test done within 2 days of embarkation. And you still have to wear your mask in indoor areas of the ship quite a bit. And so those things haven't changed, and so just know what they are. Now, a really interesting thing to me is also today Norwegian Cruise Lines announced that they are no longer going to be doing testing at embarkation. Since the restart until now, they have been only sailing with vaccinated guests, and they are going to continue with that. But also on embarkation day, they would test everyone. And if you wanted to be sure to be able to get your money back, if you happen to test positive at embarkation, you had to have a negative COVID test done with, I think it was within 3 days before embarkation. And so now they have taken away the requirement to be tested right at the port, but you still need to bring with you that proof of a negative COVID test done within 2 days, I believe it is now. And so if you are someone that doesn't like to wear a mask, you might want to take a look at Norwegian, because they only sail with vaccinated guests, and so you don't have to wear a mask on their cruises. And so I would add that if you are not able to get a COVID test before you come to the port there to sail on Norwegian, that you will be able to get one at the port, but you will be charged $99. And also I will add that on Princess, they will also test at the port if you haven't been able to get one, and it will cost $150. And so I think that it sounds like Norwegian is trying to get a little bit out of the testing business, but they are still wanting to keep all of their passengers safe. The last thing that I want to add is as far as Royal Caribbean and Carnival go, they are very similar to the protocols on Princess. The only differences I would say is that Carnival made a big announcement as they announced what theirs would be through March 31st to say that they are going to get their kids clubs open more now, and because now that children between the ages of 5 and 11 can be vaccinated, that makes it so that they can have more children on board. And they're going to make sure they can enjoy their cruise in their little fun camps that they do on board. And so I thought that was really exciting that they're able to do that. Princess and Royal Caribbean and Carnival and Celebrity as well all make very few exceptions, but they will make exceptions and let unvaccinated people on their ship, passengers I should say, on their ships. And so on Celebrity, you only have to wear a mask if you're not vaccinated. But on Carnival and Royal Caribbean and Princess, you have to wear it inside an awful lot more. And so I just thought I would kind of bring it up to date on that, and you can kind of see how everything is going with cruise lines in the United States. I think you're really familiar with what my husband and I think. We would really rather wear a mask and get to go than stay home. And so we, if you haven't seen our video, we've got a whole nother cruise scheduled on the Caribbean Princess. We're going to go January 16th through the 23rd down to the Western Caribbean, and we are really excited about it. So, and I am already starting to study what the ports we're going to do, what their requirements are, so that when we get there, I won't be surprised at what the COVID health protocols are. So I'll bring you all up to date in that in another video, and I will keep you up to date on all of the Princess COVID protocols and everything else that goes with that. So thank you so very much for sticking with me through the video today. If you haven't subscribed yet, will you please go ahead and subscribe if you would like? We'd love to have you here with us. Also, if you found this video helpful, will you please give it a thumbs up, because that will help our channel too. I really appreciate you spending some time with me. I will be talking to you again soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.